What is going on, people? I'm back from my little Christmas vacation. Now, I did record a couple of things, especially like things like Paladin and things of that nature. So I will be uploading that probably within the next day or so. Just got to do a couple of editing and whatnot. Now, the beginning is always really annoying for me because A, look what's happening. B, I'm in an emulator, so that gives me a huge disadvantage to begin with, just because the input is laggy. When you're on your phone, it's much easier. So yeah, I mean, I lost like a good 20 seconds right there just because the emulator decided to do all that. So anyway, on this one, we were up against quite a few different Mythic champion and even a Baron. So yeah, it was not looking very good for me right at the start, and especially when I can't even get the initial 5 minutes, because the initial 5 minutes is very, very important. And yeah, it wasn't looking too hot for me. Now, I did not know exactly who we were up against at this point. I was just trying to get in there, trying to get the initial couple of minutes, but yeah, it didn't really work out that way. Now, at this point, I was just trying to get in there, try to get there, and it just wasn't working. Now, this was probably my best shot, and yeah, I hit nuclear, which is the Baron. So yeah, yeah, exactly. I wasn't gonna win that. So already I was a little skeptical, but I did start to notice that they didn't really have like a bunch of family or anything like that here. So there was that chance that maybe if there was, you know, if we had more rallies than them, maybe we can pull it off. But when you're going up against Mythic champion people, even one spear rally might not be enough. So yeah, it just wasn't the greatest. There was also SCV Wilson there, which was another Mythic champion guy, and yeah, you see this beginning. I'm just taking a bunch of L's. It was just not that great. It was not good. Unfortunately, Moy Nuclear and SCV Wilson are kind of going at it, which is good for me, but yeah, I didn't have the firepower to contend with them. So yeah, and as you see there, KBB starts to get a bunch of different reinforcements, and it was just not to be. So I decided, okay, you know what? I think it's better if we just go ahead and rally it. You see, All Eyes and Ace both failed, so they got way too much reinforcements. So yeah, the first 5 minutes pretty much went to nuclear, and yeah, it took about 3 minutes just to kind of settle that. But it is what it is. I mean, when you're going up against people like that, it's kind of hard to knock them off unless you have something similar. But yeah, now of course our main advantage here was that we did have one more rally than they did, and look at that healing bill. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about it. That crap freaking hurt. So here's basically what we wanted to do. Ace would go ahead and kick whoever was in there, right? And then I would go ahead and take over for Ace. The problem with that is that I was not gonna survive any of their rallies unless it was just like, I don't know, I just got like super lucky or something. So yeah, there was 4 rallies from 4 different Mythic champion people, and yeah, I wasn't really gonna survive that. So I had to pick my spots. I had to be smart about it. A lot of people don't really understand that, like, things like Paladin and Baron and all that, it's not necessarily who's the strongest, although obviously that plays a role, but it's just about who's smartest about their rallies, about when they take over, when they try to take a rally, etc. And of course, the more rallies you have to kick off somebody in the fort, the better. So that was really the only thing that I had going for me. I wasn't going to beat any of these people head to head. I mean, that much was obvious. But my pullout game was super strong. I mean, look at that. Like, what, like a couple of seconds, and yeah, that's the only thing that I had kind of going for me. I knew when to pull back. I knew when to go ahead and attack, because if I didn't have that, I would literally not even been top 3. It wasn't going to work. So Leon was another one of the guys that was rallying, and kicking people off the fort. So let me go ahead and show you exactly who we were going up against. So the first one was SCV Wilson. Yes, pretty much a maxed account. Now he's missing 5 stars, but I mean, really? There's the other one, Leon 80. Again, pretty much Mythic champion. And then the Baron. This is one of his sets. He had a couple of different ones. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's a bunch of Mythic champion guys that I did not want to mess around with. But unfortunately, I kind of had to. I had no choice in the matter. So a lot of it was just kind of planning and seeing when they hit each other, because that was really the best option. Like, okay, if Wilson kicks out Nuclear, then we had a better shot, because then we can kind of take over. So that was really our strategy from then, and it seemed to work. So here we go. Ace is gonna go ahead and rally Wilson, and when I see that, I'm gonna go ahead and send my rally as well. Even if Ace was to fail that rally, which good thing that he won, but even if he was to fail that rally, that would mean that they would have left them with like maybe 2 million troops, somewhere around there, and in that case I can then easily win. But yeah, the main concern after was, okay, who's rallying, who's gonna be rallying the fort right after, what's their timer, things like that. But if we hit right after the 2 big ones hit, then we would have pretty much 4 minutes to ourselves. And of course, in an hour, I believe this is what, like an hour and 45 minutes, maybe like yeah, I believe it's like an hour 45. That definitely goes a long way. But like I said, my pull-out game was super strong, and I knew when to pull back, especially with Leon, because Leon was one of the main ones that pretty much just waited for me to be in the fort, and then he would launch a rally. But yeah, so this one, SCV Wilson is in there. Boss Kaido is gonna go, and he fails, which opens up the door for Nuclear to come in here and kick him out. And like I said, you gotta pick your spots. In this case, I disbanded the rally because I knew that I would just be soloing. It'll probably be much faster to just solo and get reinforcements, especially if you had like one specific troop type and then they hit with another. You don't really want that. So Ace is going right now, and at this point we're just waiting for Ace to kick him off. I changed to my mix because I'm expecting mixed reinforcements. There it goes. Ace kicks Nuclear off, and at this point I'm just waiting for Ace to go ahead and leave the fort. That way I can take over. And then right after that, it's just a matter of, do we reinforce fast enough in order for us to go ahead and take any sort of like solo hit or something that they're gonna throw at us. And if they do, that means that they've abandoned their rally, which means that they would have to rally again for an additional 5 minutes. So yeah, look at these reinforcements, super fast. I like it. And since they were already rallying, they really couldn't solo us with their leader. You see, Nuclear and Wilson did send solo attacks, but it was not with their leader, which is probably pretty smart on their part, because they might have lost their leader there. I mean, 2.3 million. Even if they sent their leader, they probably lose their leader there. So yeah, that pretty much gives us 5 whole minutes, and that happened a couple of times, which opened up the way on me actually getting a decent seating, or I guess ranking. Here's one of the best ones, because I freaking timed this perfectly. Like I said, my pull-out game was strong for the most part. There was one little instance where it didn't really work out in my favor, but look at that. Like, with a couple of seconds to spare, I was able to pull out and avoid that super hit. But one thing that I did, look at this. This is when my pull-out game was not strong. Oh my god, I just got her prego. Oh god. Yeah, did y'all see how fast that went? First of all, he had that frostwing thing. He had a minus 300% walking speed. Second of all, once he started walking and I saw how slow he was, I was like, okay, hold on, I got like a couple of seconds. No, I didn't. No, I freaking didn't. So yeah, just as an FYI, if they all use like a 50% carpet at once, like 4 or 5 people at the same time, you're screwed. Because what I got there like 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds. I saw it walk, and then it was just there. I had no chance to react. I don't know. That kind of sucked. It was really the main hit that just kind of destroyed us. But again, for some reason, they vacated the fort, and it was up to us to go ahead and reinforce as soon as possible. And as you can see there, the guild was like on it. Look at this. Look at this. Go ahead and try to solo that. It ain't happening. But yeah, it was just... It wasn't very good. Like that last hit, it kind of sucked. It kind of sucked the wind out of us. I was like, oh man. But since we didn't really attack too many things, we didn't actually hit too many things, the losses weren't too crazy. Now my loss was kind of sucked because yeah. So let me let me just go ahead and show you that again. Okay. Yeah, that was the highlight slash low light of the whole thing. And look at the damage. Like, yeah, I think I just thought my pullout game was way too strong, and then that's how accidents happen. But anyway, we kind of got back on the horse. SCV Wilson is rallying again as I take it over, and I'm like, okay, SCV Wilson, for whatever reason, sent the exact same thing over and over and over, and I was actually able to take a hit. You want to know why? Okay, for whatever reason, I don't know if he just doesn't know anything else, but SCV Wilson only sent 424. Like, literally, that's all he ever did. 424, 424, 424, 424, 424. It's like that's the only button he knew how to click. So what I did is I sent completely full cavalry, and since my cavalry stats are in the 750 plus, I was able to actually take his hit because that's all he sends is 424. And if you want to beat a 424, as long as you have a strong enough cavalry attack, you should be able to do it. And that bought us like another 4 or 5 minutes there. So here's the ending. Unfortunately, we were not able to take the first place, but yeah, SCV Wilson was able to take the first place. But I'm happy to announce that I got second place, which is pretty much as good as first place outside of like the gems and the gold, because you get the gold, you know, the gold items anyway. But you don't get the title and you don't get the gold and the gems, so that's the only difference. But take a look at that. I did beat Nuclear by 10 minutes, so I was able to beat the Baron, just unfortunately not SCV Wilson. So appreciate the guild for helping me out and the BTA family. By the way, we are recruiting, so if you're looking for a new guild, make sure that you message us and look at our board. But appreciate you guys for watching, and until later, bye.